Hey everyone, Helen here from Bodywork-Pilates. So running through another one of our exercises that you may see in class. Now, this is probably one of the exercises that you won't see as often as some of the others because it's quite a tough exercise. It can be tough on the neck, it can be tough onto the shoulder, and if you extend it up into the full arm, it can be tough on the wrist. So in my experience, ladies particularly don't care for this one because it's quite a hard movement and sometimes our upper body strength is lacking, which is the very reason why we should do it. So this is one of the side bend series, and we're going to just break it down into some manageable chunks. Going to bring yourself down onto your side, have your knees bent, and I like to put my heels in line with my bottom and my knees forward. So I don't have my legs too far forward and I certainly don't have them too far back. So heels in line with bottom. Now at this point, you need to make sure that your elbow is directly underneath the shoulder. And we avoid this. This is what I call beach pose. You're kind of lying on the beach and just having a nice time, okay? That's not what this is. So you want to bring yourself right through to the side of the hip. So be careful that you maintain that stacked hip, hip above hip. You want to feel like you're lifting out of your ribs and you're elevating out of the shoulder. So there's a sense of lifting away rather than compressing down. So maintaining this distance in the neck, this openness in the shoulder, this upright stacked line, and the hand can just rest. Now already you may feel some tension in the neck because our head isn't meant to be at this kind of angle. So if you need to, turn the head. Don't push it forward, keep it back in line with the spine, but turn the head and just look down towards the floor, just in front of the elbow. Engage those abdominals, so think of your corset, think about that gentle lift of pelvic floor, shoulders draw down, chest is open, breathe in to prepare, don't worry about the top hand for the moment. As you breathe out, press down through the side of the shins, lift the hips, and then bring it back down. Now every time you bring yourself back down, just touch the floor as if the floor were hot. So you're not coming all the way down to land, dropping all your weight and having to reset. We maintain the position throughout. So we're stacked, the spine is long, we turn the head if we need to, we draw down through the shoulder, engage as we breathe out, lift as we breathe in, we just touch, breathe out and breathe in, okay? So you might do a few of those and then you'll probably feel the need to come off that arm and just ease it out, maybe turn the head. The idea is to build up gradually. If this is an exercise that you find particularly challenging, then build up gradually to it. If you're comfortable with that, and I'm going to change sides so don't just overload one side, we can extend it slightly. So the same rules apply. We have the shoulder directly over the elbow. We want this feeling of lifting up out of the ribs, of opening up through the shoulder joint itself, maintaining the length in the neck, and if necessary, turning the head, but don't push the head forward. We've got shoulder above shoulder. Now this time, rather than having bent legs, we're going to straighten the lower leg, and then I like to put, I'm just going to move myself up a little bit so you can see my feet. Okay, I like to put my top foot onto the floor, just into the crook of my ankle. Okay, so my top foot is firm to the floor. I'm still on the side of my hip. At this point, it would be easy to drop backwards. So I'm still right on the side of the hip. If you're on that really uncomfortable bony bit at the side of your thigh, you're probably in the right place. Shoulders down, ribs lifting, abdominals engaged. Now this time I'm going to push into my top leg and I'm going to press into my shoulder. I'm not again going to worry about my top arm at this point. And as I breathe out, I'm going to lift and then lower. And you can see that my top leg goes from being from being bent to being straight because I slightly move over my arm. Now what I don't want to do is push so far over that I'm really compressing. So I want to make sure that I have a little bit of movement forward and back just in order to straighten that leg, but it doesn't need to be more than that. If this leg doesn't completely straight, that doesn't matter either, okay? So right onto the side of the body, bring the ribs, lift out of the shoulder, watch out for the tension in the neck, going to press into your top leg as you breathe out, and as you breathe in, just bend. Breathe out and touch. Breathe out and touch. And again, just give the shoulder a bit of a roll out. initially it's not going to be a massive movement. So you may look in the books, you may look on the videos or DVDs and see an enormous range of movement and people really bowing their body and sweeping their arms around, and that's all very lovely, but you need to get the base of the movement done first. So the first portion of your movement, knees bent, heels in line with your bottom, body stacked, ribs lifted, watch out for the tension in the neck, pressing firmly down, engaging that deeper abdominal area. As you breathe out, lift. As you breathe in, just touch. Breathe out to lift, into touch, breathe out and in. Okay? And the second level, or to extend it slightly, would be to extend the body. That adds more weight into it, puts a little bit more weight into the shoulder, adds an element of balance. So once again, we're right on the side of the body. It's not going to be a huge lift, but you don't want to feel like somebody's pulling you up from the side of your pants. So the spine is long. As you breathe out, press into that top leg. The leg will straighten a little bit more, and then again, breathe out and in, breathe out and in. Okay, so as I say, very often a movement that's avoided because it's tough. You might just need to stretch out a little bit at the end of each of those, roll your shoulders, but it's a good base movement, and if you're not employing that or adding that into your Pilates practice, then perhaps consider doing so, because it's a really valuable movement to build up the strength and the stability around your shoulder girdle, a little bit of balance, and it's part of the repertoire, so it's something you perhaps want to work in towards. Obviously, if you have any serious shoulder issues, then there's other things you can do. But if you're generally fit and healthy, you generally don't have any real issues, then think about adding it in. Okay, enjoy that one, and I'll see you again soon.